Hey there, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. It's another Lego episode. My first love for Lego would be Lego Space, classic space. I've got quite a lot of classic space sets in the garage, in storage. I've got my enormous Lego ship that I built in Lego Classic Space colours, and I've recently been collecting the more up-to-date Lego Space range, and today we're going to be looking at this one, set number 60446, the Galactic Spaceship, consisting of 717 pieces. And it has the typical sort of modularity that you get with the modern space sets that we've had over the last couple of years. Rather annoyingly, this set is a Lego shop and Lego online exclusive. And I don't go to Lego shops very often, and I don't often put an online order on, probably about once a year. This is part of my Christmas present from my wife. I've only recently got hold of this. It's been out for a while. This isn't exactly a cutting edge review. There's the front of the box. There's the rather bland side of the box, which just has the continuation of the space thingy bob there. There's the top of the box showing us all the minifigs, including an alien and a robot and a pizza. There is the blurby side of the box. There is the blurby bottom of the box. This image, it's getting boring. It's a boring image. And there's the back of the box, basically showing that this thing can come apart and you can make a smaller ship out of it. You could make a base out of it by landing some elements. A couple of the rooms, showing you how it comes apart. So we're going to do the usual time lapse. We're going to build it, and then we're going to take a look at it afterwards. Okay, here we are. It's built. I think this is one of those sets where if you want like a proper space base / orbital operation, you kind of need more than one of these sets, in my opinion. Right, to start with, there are six bags, 6 paper bags in total, and 3 instruction manuals. So here's the first instruction manual, and we are following a blue spaceman, and this basically covers the construction of this first section of the ship, which actually looks really, really cool on its own. I love that. Number 2, we're following an orange sort of coloured spaceman. This covers basically the construction of this middle section, which, you know, would be compatible with any of the space station or any of the other space-based items from last year. And then basically the last couple of bags, booklet number 3, covers the construction of this kind of habitat, which can be deployed or which can be simply the back of the ship. Sorry, I forgot to put these 2 things on the side because this is how it's supposed to be when it's on its own. So let's first of all look at the minifigs. In no particular order, we have this blue spaceman here. Only one face. He's got a slight beard and I think it was this hair piece that he comes with as a spare, but I don't tend to put the hair pieces on spacemen, if I'm honest with you. The next minifig, I could be wrong with the order. No, actually it's this guy, I think. We've got this person, or this, yeah, with an orbital backpack with the space logo on. You can turn these thrusters here to sort of indicate a direction, if you like. And I think the spare hair piece that this guy came with was this one. Next we have a lady. She is wearing a green outfit. None of these guys, by the way, have double-sided heads. And the spare hair piece that came with was this one with the ponytail. We then have this guy who is kind of like, I guess, the commander, and he came with this. I don't like this hair piece, it's too small, but this kind of crew cut kind of hair piece for him. He's wearing a sort of orange kind of uniform. Oh, I forgot to say oh yeah, in the third booklet we're following the lady, right? Yeah, so there's this guy, and we also have an alien. So the aliens from this planet that we're on, some of them ended up getting recruited, and this alien's got the normal 3 eyes. We've seen this alien before, both in his native form and in his form with a helmet on. We also have a robot. This theme is quite heavy on sort of utility robots and robots that go around drilling things and helping out around the base or on the space station. You also get a brick separator with this set. We get 2 asteroid sort of meteor pieces with purple crystals inside, which in this theme, you might recall, they're used for power generation. But so both of these are identical. And while we're here, these are the spare pieces. There should also be a 1x1 trans orange cheese slope, but I appear to have mislaid it. Sorry, that wasn't very good focusing, was it? Right, so that's the side bits kind of done. There are stickers in this set, unfortunately. This is the sticker set. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 different stickers, which is unfortunate. Lego stickers, not my favourite thing, to be honest. But let's look at the build. You may have noticed that I've also got some extra pieces here on the side, and I'll explain what that's about in a minute. So first of all, we have the sort of the ship, the tractor engine, if you like, of the whole ship. Really cool. We've got some nice angled wings here. We've got the normal sort of battery kind of power units that can be plugged in. In this case, they sit on the wings. So this is a common theme across this entire Lego space theme. We have, of course, the cockpit, and inside the cockpit, you're actually able to, you've actually got room here to put the alien. And I'm just going to randomly grab one of the minifigs. It doesn't really matter which one. You're able to grab one of the human pilots in there as well, and they will both sit in there quite nicely. And you may notice that the alien has actually got a proper custom built seat with a headrest, which is nice. We also have a display printed on here for the pilot. Okay, now in the back section here, we've basically got an area where one of our humans can lie down, so they can sort of use that as a sleeping area with a screen that they can look at if they want to. So basically there's room in this ship for 3 figures, including one of the aliens, which I think is pretty cool. And that just fits on there. We've got some of these smooth tiles on the bottom so that you can kind of run it along the carpet and pretend it's cruising along out inside space. We've got some big sort of thruster stickers here, some little sort of safety stickers here. These, though, are printed. All of these square ones with the space logo on are printed. Now, in the back, we have, of course, the standard Lego airlock system that's been used in this particular theme. And if you take, and you can actually take off the engine, and I'll explain why you might want to do that in just a minute. The middle section, some sort of pod, like a repair pod. Unfortunately, we've got a hazard sticker here. That is a sticker, which is a shame. I'm fairly certain Lego used to do those as printed. We've got a screen here. That's a sticker. A couple of sort of thruster stickers on here. Not much to write home about in that this one. It's got airlocks on either side. It's got an opening top. There's a spanner in there. And we also have some cupboards on the side here, some containers, and on each side the instructions say you can have crystals. So of course you can put crystals in all of them if you want, but I just built this as per the instructions. So that's kind of like fairly standard. That would again bolt onto, as I said earlier, that would bolt onto any of these sort of space station or planetary based space elements in this particular series. And then finally we have the back end of the spaceship, which doubles as a sort of planetary landing pod. Now, to start with, we have two airlocks. These ones are not blanked off inside, so these ones you can go straight inside the room, and I'll show you inside the room in just a sec. So the other side is like that. You can also open the top, and I'll show you that in a minute. But what's quite cool is, I've just found that extra 1x1 trans orange cheese slope that I was missing. It's ended up in here. These legs kind of fold down, and essentially this is where you would be able to deploy this particular building on a planet as like a temporary base. You could also, of course, hook it up to other elements of your base, but I would see this more as a temporary outpost rather than being permanently linked to the rest of the base. Sort of thing that you could deposit down. The main ship could go off and do its thing and then come back for this later, possibly. But as I say, the top opens, and if you open these two thingies here, you can lift out this entire transparent dome and you can see inside. And what we have here is a small hydroponics area. We've got one of those batteries again, so that this whole section can be powered. So in your sort of role play or gaming or whatever, if you're playing with this, you know, you could have a scenario where one of these needs to be replaced, and you know, then maybe the ship could bring it to you, or you have to sort of go out and find crystals on the planet's surface. We've got this sort of rotating scanner thingy bob here in the middle, which kind of circles around. Now over here we've got a fold down bed. So again, what you can do is you can hook a minifig in there and you can have them sleeping. I like the fact that it's fold down. I think that's really cool use of space actually, because it means that you don't have to sort of permanently have it as a bed. And on the other side we have a cooker with a pizza, and this pizza comes out, of course. There's a little knife and fork sort of sticker there. I'm assuming these are meant to be like condiments, but again, it folds up, which is brilliant. But I don't really tend to like pieces of Lego in sets that are loose and kind of shaking around, because, well, actually you can't even hear it because it's locked in place, which is fantastic. And then of course you've got exits leading to the airlock. So that's kind of like the three different sections. Now let me just show you something. So we're going to fold up these legs here now, and what we can do is, with this main ship, first of all we can take these wings off. They plug into these pieces here with clips, so we can take those off if we want to, and I'll show you why you might want to do that. And then the engine pods can come off, and then you are kind of given some extra Technic pins, and what you can do is you can then attach this pod to that ship. And what you might want to do is you might want to then excuse me, I've just knocked off those pieces, give me one sec. What you might want to do is then plug your engine component into the back of here. And what you could do is you can pull off these containers, these canisters, and for example, you could put the wings on this section if you wanted to. If you wanted to be sort of uber complete, for example, you could then take the container pods and place them on there, and immediately you've now got a new ship. You've got a longer sort of spaceship, and you're also given these extra pieces here, and the intention of that is to lock that in place, and then you get one of these under here, and now essentially that spaceship is locked together. Now this particular configuration isn't in the manual, but I think it's quite cool, and already I can see myself wanting another one of these sets so that I can have a spaceship of this particular size running around, because I think that would be cool. Now, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to take these wings off again, and I'm going to put these pods back on the side of here, and I'm going to show you what the instruction manual does suggest. And that is that we again take off the engine piece. Okay, now here we have our sort of habitation pod, and the suggestion is that you take off one of the airlocks, and in this case we're going to put in the spare pins here, and we're going to slot that into there, and we're going to put that one there facing backwards, and we're going to put that on there, and already now we've got a longer spaceship. And the instruction manual suggests that you would then put the wings onto this part of the ship, and then on the back, excuse me for knocking the camera, you would then, this has come off again, you would then take your engine pod and stick that on the rear, and then you end up with these two pieces as kind of spare for the time being. And there is our sort of complete spaceship as per the manual, as per the box, all held together with these extra pieces here. And again, I might decide that I want another set so that I can have a spaceship of this size running around. Of course, in theory, you could buy multiples of these and you could daisy chain them all together. You could have these pods hanging off the side here, and you could basically, like with the space station, or like with the base, the sort of ground elements of the bases that came out last year, you could kind of make a very large ship, very large, thing. So I can see myself wanting a few of these, one so that I could have, just the basic ship, one that I could have a longer ship, and one that I could have like that, and then also I can have a couple of ground pods. So this is the fantastic thing about this particular space theme, in my opinion, is that it's kind of infinitely expandable, and I love that. I love the modularity of it. So there we go. That's my space collection up to date again. It's taken me a while to get hold of this because, as I say, I don't tend to go out much. I don't tend to go to Lego stores these days because it's too tempting to spend money I don't have. And but basically this is part of my Christmas present from my wife, who of course, as you know, remains in hospital. So nice of her. Thank you, Liz. So there we go. That's set 60446. I really like it. I like the modularity. I like the continuation of the colour scheme of space. I suspect once this particular space theme has run its course, I'll probably have to stop buying Lego Space at that point because, funnily enough, I'm running out of space. No pun intended. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Total Ramblings. Please remember to do all the usual YouTubey stuff, like, subscribe, hate, comment, snark, do whatever you like. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.